Disability ain't just for those with disabilities. Makes the world better for everyone, online as well as in person. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am the blind blogger Maxwell Ivy, and this is the Accessibility Advantage, where I'm advocating for more inclusion of and accessibility for people with disabilities by emphasizing the many positive advantages and benefits to inclusion. I hope you will check out the website, theaccessibilityadvantage.com, and consider reaching out to me if you or your organization needs help with accessibility for your products, services, or content so you can leverage the disability community. So, whenever I do a public talk, the first thing I address is why should people care about accessibility? And to me, there are three main points when it comes to the size of our community. We can talk about improving search engine optimization and AI respect later. We can talk about how there's this huge market. But the most important thing is we have to explain to people what is the market? How big is it? How important is it? So you've probably heard the statistics out there that say that 1 in 6 people in the world identify as having a disability. And that's a good number. I feel like it's a reliable number for the most part. But the key thing there is identify. There are many, many people who will never identify as having a disability, even though they live with the challenges of disability. Now, some of these, it has to do with avoiding the stigma of a disability. These are usually people with an invisible disability or life challenges that are not obvious to most people. And they do this because they're afraid of being stigmatized, so they don't share with their friends, family members, coworkers, employers, or even researchers. Then we have people who live with the challenges of getting older, and they will have vision loss and hearing loss and loss of motor control, maybe even issues with their cognitive abilities, but they will never consider themselves disabled. They're just getting older. So I believe if we bring in all these people who are disabled or differently abled, mainly the bottom line is living with challenges of things that are more difficult than what we would consider, quote, normal, unquote, what we would consider, quote, able bodied, unquote. Those people are in this community, whether they know it or not, whether they identify or not. So I feel like that would put us closer to 1 in 3, which would be somewhere closer to 115 or 120 million people in the US alone. So it's a huge community, but the numbers, regardless of which number you choose, don't say it all. Because there are two other very important parts to this as far as why you should care. The first is loyalty. For the most part, most businesses, nonprofits, and government agencies are still not investing in accessibility. Because they don't, I would say probably 5% of the internet right now is considered accessible. And I think I'm being generous with that number. The numbers haven't improved much over the last 30 years or even over the last 10 years when things have been more focused on accessibility online. But because so few are willing to make even small efforts, we respect the companies that do. We understand that there are challenges, that it costs them money, time. They have to reach out and acquire expertise. It may sometimes disrupt their businesses. They may even receive advice or criticism from their competitors for caring about accessibility. I recently ran into that with my good friend Alex Sanfilippo, who founded Podmatch. So we respect them. We want to support them. We want to see them succeed. So we will stay with them during the good times and the bad times. And we will often see accessibility as a value added proposition. So we may pay more for a competitor on something we could get cheaper, but we're paying for the fact that they deliver it to us in an accessible manner and they care about our business. And pretty much any business professor and any business student and any business owner for that matter can tell you it is much more profitable to keep the customers you have than to constantly be chasing new ones. The next part to this is advocacy. You see, because we do want to see businesses succeed, we will advocate for them. We will promote them. We will share about their products and services directly when we have casual conversations, and we will promote them on social media. I like to say we will promote them to our friends and family and coworkers. We'll even tell our enemies when we find somebody who's making the effort because we know it's that important to support those businesses. I also like to say that when you invest in accessibility, you attract consumers who will advocate. So you're actually getting influencers you don't have to pay. And whether you believe me or not, you can look on the internet and you can find people who have YouTube channels or podcasts who have hundreds of thousands or millions of followers on social media, and none of the national brands are taking advantage of them to learn from them, to share through them, to communicate the benefits of their products or services or improve accessibility. Uh, and we do want to support y'all. So, one other thing is if you do have a product or service and you are making the effort, you really should be telling us about it because we can't tell everybody else that you got this great product and that you care that you're living it in an accessible manner if you don't tell us. And sadly, most business owners feel the need to hide their investments in accessibility. So I like to use the following equation as a way of summing up. When you multiply the raw numbers times the loyalty of our community times the fact that we will self advocate, that equals an audience that you just cannot afford to ignore. And really, we aren't asking you to be perfect. We aren't asking you to do it overnight. We aren't even asking you to do it because it's the right thing. We're asking you to do it because it's in the best interest of your business. So I hope that what you've heard today will encourage you to take stock in your business or your organization. Consider whether or not y'all are making enough of an effort to be inclusive. Decide whether you want to benefit from reaching this huge, loyal, advocating disability community or not. I really don't feel like there are many businesses who are Amazon or Walmart who can afford to ignore us. And when I say us, I mean y'all, because the odds are 1 out of 3 people that are listening to this have a disability or have a life challenge or are differently able. So I really do believe that once we let people know why they should care, then we can get to the how. Thank you for your time. If you do want some help with improving accessibility on your website, your podcast, or within your products and services, please do reach out to me. If you would like to be a guest on a future episode of the podcast to talk about accessibility in general or talk about your business, then please use the link on my website, theaccessibilityadvantage.com. I appreciate your time and your support. I hope y'all have enjoyed this and got something good out of it. Until next time, please take care out there. Thank you. Disabled people, we tell our friends and share to our social sites. Don't think about how hard it is. Just focus on those dollar signs. 'Cause accessibility ain't just for those with disabilities. Item chooser menu. One item end stream. End stream. End the stream. Outro set not yet. End stream.